thou be near. Corral fights. Okay.
On my first drive into Ames, I distinctly remember being in awe at how beautiful everything was, the scale, the magnitude of everything around me.
When I first came on my campus visit, I realized that Iowa State had so much potential.
I think I was leaving from my campus tour and I was telling my parents, like, I'm ready to sign now, ready to accept and be a Cyclone.
So I already had a master's degree overseas in Bangladesh. So I was looking for something that will give me the experience and knowledge that I didn't get from my previous degree.
Growing up, I think my future was always going to be football. Anything related to football, really. I grew up watching it. I grew up playing it. My dad was actually a pro in, the NFL. So just growing up watching him play really made me want to play the game a little bit more and get to that same level that he was.
I was super excited for my first day of classes at Iowa State. I remember putting on the best outfit I could think of and walking into class and sitting in the first couple of rows.
I think it was easy to make friends at Iowa State. Everyone's super open, everyone's super nice, willing to have conversations and getting to learn about you, getting to know you.
I would say one of my greatest achievement here at Iowa State is representing Iowa State in quiz competitions. So it was the experience of solving real-world business problems, and I was fortunate to have that experience before I graduated.
I joined my sorority a bit later in my college experience, but it was one of the best decisions I made. We have a ton of fun when we're together. We are always laughing, tears coming down our face. It is a very fun experience.
Getting to be able to work at the new, bigger veterinary diagnostic laboratory has been great.
Juggling sports and school is always going to be hard, but I think Iowa State does a really good job of handling that with our academic program on the 3rd floor of the Stark Performance Center.
I studied abroad in Limerick, Ireland at the University of Limerick. Being able to have that study abroad opportunity was as amazing as I thought it was going to be, multiplied by 500. That was definitely not something that I thought was going to be possible for 20-year-old Anna to do.
I loved my experience with the President's Leadership class. Going to the Knoll every Tuesday and meeting President Winterstein and Robert, and you're surrounded by 28 other students who are just amazing in their own ways. I think President Winterstein's dedication to Iowa State has been tremendous through the 4 decades that she's been here, and being the first female president, and as she approaches retirement, I think she's just made such an impact on the community here at Iowa State.
One of the things that I like the most about Ames in general is downtown Ames. I went to a bunch of farmers markets on Saturdays. Me and a bunch of my roommates still try to do that to this day. The people of Ames definitely love Iowa State, and Iowa State definitely loves the people of Ames.
When I first started coming to Jack Trice, I wasn't sure what to expect, but very quickly I fell in love with it. I got to see Brock Purdy play, and now he's in the NFL doing great things, and then I got to watch Rocco come and play.
I think one of my favorite moments here at Iowa State has got to be when we played K-State last year, and it was 4 degrees outside, and everybody was here to get our 11th win of the season, which is a school record. And to see everybody that came out and showed out in 4-degree weather was something special.
The most important thing that I've learned at Iowa State is to become comfortable with the uncomfortable. Whether that means saying hello to someone next to you at your lecture, or going to a new club meeting where you don't know anybody, and that can really help expand your circle and can lead to a lot more opportunities that you might not have had if you didn't go with that first step or didn't take that first leap.
I am most proud of the person that I've become. I have gained so much confidence being here.
Before I came, I was very shy and timid, and I didn't like to speak up much. But now I am a lot more confident, and I will raise my hand in class, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
I kind of walked in not really having an idea of how I was going to walk out, but I'm really proud of how that turned out and where I am today.
Primarily, I would like to thank my sister for inspiring me to be an engineer, and even getting it in my head in the first place that it was something I could do. And I would like to thank both my parents and both my biological and my Cyclone families for supporting that dream ever since.
I would like to thank my parents for this opportunity, especially being a first-generation college student. It has meant a lot to me to be able to pursue a higher education.
I would like to thank my family, my friends, the faculty, my advisors, my professors, my tutors.
I'd also like to thank my parents for the opportunity and the encouragement to come here to Iowa State, as well as all my friends who have had to deal with me these past 4 years, especially my girlfriend, Tori.
I would like to thank my parents for my time here at Iowa State. They heavily encouraged me to come here, and little did I know it would be the best decision I ever made.
I think there's a lot of people that I'd like to thank, and I think the closest people to me are probably my roommates and my family. I thank those people a lot because they've been through a lot for me.
So I would like to take this opportunity to thank my parents and also all of my faculties and classmates. They were really supportive and helpful. And lastly, thank you, Iowa State University.
I'll miss the little things. I'll miss the campus. I'll miss the beauty. And I'll miss being here.
I will miss how beautiful Iowa State's campus is the most. I love walking through the big trees and looking at all the architecture, and I'm really gonna miss that.
From day one, I felt the energy, the belief, and the pride that comes with wearing that Cardinal and gold.
I didn't know what I would find when I stepped foot here, and what I found was community, people who I'm proud to call my friends, passion and direction for my major, and a sense of belonging, my home away from home.
Iowa State taught me not only the knowledge and skills I'll carry into my career, but also how to lead, collaborate, and adapt with confidence.
As I prepare to leave Ames, I know I'm not just saying goodbye to a university, I'm saying goodbye to a community that helped shape me into the person I am today.
Ames gave me memories I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. No matter where the future takes me, I'll always be a proud Cyclone.
Looking back now, I can confidently tell my 18-year-old self that there is no other school I could have chosen that would have been better for me, and there is no other school that present-day me is prouder to officially call myself an alumni of.
They always say home is where the heart is. So now, when I say I'm going home, just know I'm going to Ames.
Good afternoon. Iowa State University is pleased and honored to welcome the family and friends of our graduates to the Fall 2025 Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony here in Hilton Coliseum. Today's commencement ceremony recognizes recent graduates in Iowa State University's proud 167-year history of academic achievement, excellence, and service. The processional will begin with the presentation of the college banners by each college's student marshal, who will be accompanied by the dean and the student's university escort. The presentation of the college banners will be followed by the processional of our undergraduate candidates for graduation, who will process in as members of the delegations of the respective colleges. Members of the assembly may remain seated during the processional. At this time, it is our privilege to present to you Emma Bastian, student marshal for the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Emma is accompanied by her university escort, Austin Cook, and by Dean Daniel Robeson. It is our privilege to present to you Mackenzie Sheridan, student marshal for the Ivy College of Business. Mackenzie is accompanied by her university escort, Susan Fleming, and by Dean Raj Aganhortri. It is our privilege to present to you Kylie Fielmeyer, student marshal for the College of Design. Kylie is accompanied by her university escort, Kristen German, and by Dean Luis Rico Gutierrez. It is our privilege to present to you Katie Meyer, student marshal for the College of Engineering. Katie is accompanied by her university escort, Dr. Todd Kingston, and by Dean Samuel Easterling. It is our privilege to present to you Autumn Teedens, student marshal for the College of Health and Human Sciences. Autumn is accompanied by her university escort, Dr. Elizabeth Segamoller, and by Dean Laura Jolly. It is our privilege to present to you Marissa Bayedo, student marshal for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Marissa is accompanied by her university escort, Dr. Peter Orazem, and by Dean Benjamin Withers. At this time, it is our privilege to present to you undergraduate candidates for graduation from Iowa State University. official beginning of our commencement ceremony, the University Mace, carried by Chief Faculty Marshal Dr. Robert Wallace, precedes President Wendy Winterstein. We ask the candidates for graduation and the members of the Assembly to please rise as you are able for the procession of the members of the Iowa State University academic community, led by President Wendy Winterstein. And now, the presentation of colors by the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps Color Guard. Iowa State University is very pleased to introduce Austin Rewer as the Fall 2025 Undergraduate Commencement Student Vocalist. Mr. Rewer will sing our national anthem.
Please join me in singing our national anthem. Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
Please be seated. Graduates, family, and friends, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Wendy Winterstein, President of Iowa State University.
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to welcome you to Iowa State University's Fall 2025 undergraduate commencement ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the platform party. I ask that they please stand and remain standing until all introductions are made. Mr. Alan Christian, retired manager of the Iowa State University Swine Teaching Farm and honorary degree recipient. Dr. Mark Lasher, chairman and chief executive officer of Phillips 66 and commencement speaker. Dr. Jason Keith, senior vice president and provost. Dr. Toya Younger, senior vice president for student affairs. Dr. Sean Reeder, senior vice president for operations and finance. Dr. Peter Dorhout, vice president for research. Mr. David Spalding, vice president for economic development and industry relations. Mrs. Heather Paris, associate vice president for finance. Dr. Chad Harris, chair of the Iowa State University Alumni Association Board of Directors. Dr. Robert Wallace, associate professor of ecology, evolution, and organismal biology and chief faculty marshal. Mr. Luis Rico Gutierrez, dean of the College of Design. Dr. Laura Jolly, dean and dean's chair of the College of Health and Human Sciences. Dr. Daniel Robeson, endowed dean's chair of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Mr. Samuel Easterling, James L. and Catherine S. Melsa, endowed dean of the College of Engineering. Dr. Benjamin Withers, dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Dr. Raj Agnihotra, David and Ellen Raisbeck, endowed dean of the Debbie and Jerry Ivy College of Business. Dr. Heather Greenlee, interim dean of the Graduate College. Dr. Monica Howard, assistant dean of veterinary student success. Ms. Hillary Zayo, Colonel Gary G. Swinson, PhD, endowed dean of library services. Dr. Megan Gillette, teaching professor for human development and family studies and faculty senate president. Dr. Jennifer Sukon, university registrar. Dr. Jason Ross, chair of the Department of Animal Science, and Lloyd Anderson, endowed professor in physiology. The faculty marshals for today's commencement ceremony and the distinguished faculty. Please join me in recognizing them. You may be seated. On behalf of our university leaders, faculty, and staff, we are delighted to honor and celebrate our newest graduates of Iowa State University. Commencement is the most important and significant ceremony that our university holds. For our graduates, it represents the culmination of years of hard work, focused study, perseverance, and personal growth. For family and friends, it is a time to share in the success of their graduate and to be recognized for the wonderful support and care they have provided throughout the years. And for Iowa State University, it represents the successful completion of our most important responsibility to society, providing a comprehensive education to prepare the next generation of scholars, innovators, and leaders. Graduates, You are joining a very special group of people who have degrees from this renowned institution. We are so proud of you, and we know you will continue to bring great pride to Iowa State University. Congratulations to all of you. I now call on Jason Keith, Senior Vice President and Provost, to begin the honorary degree presentation.
At today's ceremony, Iowa State University is privileged to bestow an honorary degree, its 153rd in the university history. Dr. Megan Gillette, President of the Faculty Senate, will introduce the distinguished recipient to President Wintersteen.
Will you please rise, Mr. Christian? President Wintersteen, on behalf of the faculty at Iowa State University, the Faculty Senate has recommended and the Iowa Board of Regents has approved awarding the honorary degree Doctor of Science to Mr. Alan Christian. For more than 50 years, Al managed the Iowa State University Swine Teaching Farm, elevating it into an educational cornerstone of the Department of Animal Science and College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Today, the Alan E. Christian Swine Teaching Farm stands as a tribute to his service and legacy. Throughout his remarkable career, Al dedicated himself to teaching, mentoring, and shaping students. He taught swine labs for more than 40 years, directly influencing more than 1,500 students through hands-on education. As farm manager, Al employed and mentored countless students each semester, instilling in them responsibility, accountability, and the confidence to make decisions. Al developed the Pork Fellows program in 2006, bringing together about 20 students each semester for an immersive experience, blending classroom learning with industry facility tours and professional networking. His personal reputation in the pork industry was instrumental in bringing top leaders and speakers into the classroom, exposing students to the latest news, trends, and career opportunities. Beyond campus, Al was one of the most respected and sought-after swine judges in the nation. He judged nearly every county fair in Iowa and every major national swine show across the United States. Al was also a visionary pig breeder. He traveled globally to extend his knowledge to the swine industry and has been recognized with numerous prestigious awards, including induction into the National Pork Producers Council Pork Industry Hall of Fame. His extraordinary career profoundly shaped both pigs and people, creating a legacy that will endure for generations. President Wintersteen, it is my pleasure to present Alan Christian for an honorary degree from Iowa State University.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Iowa Board of Regents as president of Iowa State University, it is my great pleasure to bestow upon you, Alan Christian, the honorary degree, Doctor of Science, with all attendant rights, privileges, and obligations. I commend you, Dr. Christian, for your extraordinary contributions and enduring influence on the swine industry, along with your teaching and mentorship of countless Iowa State students. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Alan Christian again on his honorary degree. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker for this afternoon's undergraduate commencement ceremony. Dr. Mark Lasher is Chairman and CEO of Phillips 66, a leading global energy company. He holds a bachelor's degree and PhD in chemical engineering from Iowa State University and has extensive experience in executive leadership roles within the energy and petrochemical industries. Prior to his roles at Phillips 66, Dr. Lasher was president and CEO of Chevron Phillips Chemical Company, LLC, a joint venture between Phillips 66 and Chevron. While at CP Chem, he held several leadership positions, including Executive Vice President of Olefins and Polyolefins, Senior Vice President of Corporate Planning and Development, Project Director of Saudi Arabia, and Regional Manager in Asia. He serves on the boards of several industry groups and nonprofits, including the American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers, Iowa State University's College of Engineering Advisory Board, the American Cancer Society's CEOs Against Cancer, and the Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation. Dr. Lasher serves on the executive committee of the American Petroleum Institute and is member of the National Petroleum Council. He holds 13 U.S. patents. Please welcome Dr. Mark Lasher.
President Winterstein, Dr. Christian, members of the Board of Regents, faculty, staff, proud families and friends, and most importantly, all of you, the class of 2025. What a privilege it is for me to be standing here with you today at Iowa State. It's good to be back home at my alma mater. This place has taught me to stay humble, to stay curious, and push through everything with determination. That's what I've always thought of as the heart of a cyclone. I came to campus in the fall of 1980, fresh from the small town of Farragut, Iowa. I had a great upbringing, a great family, good education behind me, but I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And like many of you once were, I was here searching for what I should be doing. I bounced around campus as an undeclared pre-med. I tutored for pay. I helped enforce the no food rule in the library for pay. And I had the thrill of participating in the dawn of Hilton Magic right here where you sit today. Somewhere in the middle of all that exploring, I found chemical engineering. And I found a future that I could embrace. And yes, Iowa State shaped more than just my career. I met a girl here who would become my wife. We now have been married for 41 years. We have 3 kids, 3 in-laws, 6 grandchildren. It all started on this campus. And I have to tell you, without her help, I wouldn't be here today. I've been lucky to stay connected through the Iowa State College of Engineering Advisory Council and through many visits back to campus. And I remember being exactly where you are now, listening to a commencement speaker and walking across the stage just as you're about to do. On that December day, it was minus 15 degrees outside with a wind chill of minus 70. So that was just one more thing that made the day extra memorable. And when I got the invitation to come back, this is the first time I've been back to a December commencement since then. I was a little nervous, but things cooperated better this time around. So thank you for letting me be a part of your most memorable day. President Winterstein, this is your last commencement as Iowa State's president, and I can't think of a better moment to say a heartfelt thank you. You've led with vision, steadiness, and optimism. You've embraced both the land-grant mission of this university and a future of innovation. During your 46 years here, you've taught students, led programs, built partnerships, and shown what it looks like when tradition leads to progress, when the Iowa State way becomes a guiding light. Graduates, help me out here. I want you to join me in thanking President Winterstein for a legacy that you will inherit and you'll build on. Class of 2025, you might not recognize it today, but you've been forever shaped by what President Winterstein calls the Iowa State way. It means pairing knowledge with action. If you look closely at the university seal, you'll see the full name of our school, Iowa State University of Science and Technology. As you leave here, degree in hand, the world will know that you're fully trained in both the science and the practice of your discipline. You've learned to ask why, you've learned to measure the answer, and you've learned how to make it matter. You're graduating into a world that's really complex, competitive, and constantly changing. And make no mistake, no matter how hard you've worked, the changes you've pushed through, or the accomplishments you've earned, nobody out there owes you anything. But the inheritance you have here is powerful. What you've learned here will serve you well. The culture you've experienced here is a superpower because humility listens, curiosity questions, and determination delivers. Those traits are the heart of a cyclone, and they'll carry you far beyond this campus. You're graduating into a time when there's uncertainty. People see headlines about disruption and technology moving faster than people. They see problems and assume they can't do anything about them. That mindset is not the Iowa State way. You've spent years learning how to solve real problems. You've done the labs, the research projects, the team assignments, the internships. You've learned how to work with people that don't think like you. You've learned how to take an idea from the whiteboard to the real world, and that's a rare skill today. So resist joining that chorus of people who only point out to what's wrong or what they disagree with. Be the people who bring solutions to build what's next. Use that humility, curiosity, and determination to be the engineers who find new ways to tap into energy sources or build better infrastructure. Be the farmers and agricultural innovators who feed the world. Be the scientists who drive discovery. Be the educators who shape the next generation. Be the communicators who help spread important ideas. Be the artists who make us think and wonder. Be the leaders in business, public service, and technology who create the future. And as you're doing that important work, stay anchored in what you learned here. Stay anchored in the Iowa State way. Work hard. Tell the truth, treat people with respect. Those sound simple, but they're rare today. Hold on to your humility, keep your curiosity, keep your determination, and keep that heart of a cyclone beating. I gotta tell you, the world's got plenty of ego. We don't need any more ego. What the world needs is confident people who are willing to serve. What it needs is each one of you. Some of you are heading straight into the workforce, while others of you may be like me and stick around in academics a little while longer. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't know my path or how I would find the major that would inspire me. But people here at Iowa State, the staff, the professors, the mentors, guided me and challenged me, and I found my love for chemical engineering. Another professor suggested I consider graduate school. And to be honest, the timing couldn't have been better. The job market wasn't so hot, so I thought I'd stay around and watch Johnny Orr coach basketball for another 4 years. 4 more years, another diploma, more purpose, and the path to where I am today, leading a global energy company that has 21 times more employees than the population of my small hometown in Iowa. And I get to hand out the Big 12 basketball tournament championship trophies every year, and it is so great when I get to hand it over to the men and women of Iowa State, and I hope to do so next spring. This path taught me something critical. Doors will open, but you have to be at the door, and you have to have the courage to walk through the door when it opens. You are the key factor in what happens in your life. My purpose came when I made a commitment to be ready. So now it's time for you to make a commitment and set your own purpose. It's time to bring the Iowa State way to service, education, business, energy, veterinary medicine, technology, and the many fields that make our world work. I know that you'll create, I know that you'll innovate, you'll build, and I'm confident that you will serve the greater good. Because what Iowa State has given you is not just knowledge, it's an invitation to make an impact. Graduates, this is your moment. You made it. You endured the cold days, the long nights, the labs, the exams, and the self-doubt. You celebrated the big wins right here in Hilton Coliseum and the moments that became lifelong memories. And today, you emerge ready. Ready to lead, ready to serve, ready to transform. You carry the heart of a cyclone, and you carry the Iowa State way, and you carry the future. So go show the world what humility, curiosity, and determination can do when they're embodied in an Iowa State graduate. Take the world by storm. Stay grounded in who you are, and like President Winterstein, leave every place better than when you found it. Congratulations, class of 2025. I want you to go out and blow away the world's expectations and do great things. And always remember, go Cyclones.
Thank you, Dr. Lasher, for those inspiring remarks, especially go Cyclones, right? So now we're going to hear from the Student Brass Ensemble under the direction of Dr. Michael Galima. Thank you.
President Winterstein will begin the recognition of graduates, followed by the presentation of degrees.
At this time, I call upon Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Jason Keith, to recognize those students graduating with distinction, those students graduating from the university's honors programs, and all those with military service.
Before I proceed with the recognition of our incredible graduates, I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to recognize our very own president, Dr. Wendy Winterstein, on her upcoming retirement from Iowa State University. President Winterstein has proudly served the university for 46 years, and she'll be retiring from a storied career on January 2nd. As someone who has had the distinct privilege and honor to work alongside her, I can tell you she is a true servant leader. She embodies the Iowa State spirit of innovation, entrepreneurship, and service. Please join me in congratulating her. As a special thank you to President Winterstein, we have invited one of her friends, Dr. Simon Estes, to share a special message. Dr. Estes retired from singing in 2022. He is the F. Wendell Miller Distinguished Artist in Residence, and he is an internationally acclaimed bass baritone who has performed in the world's major opera houses and in special performances for U.S. presidents and international dignitaries. Dr. Estes could not be here in person today, but he prepared a brief video message for her that we will now play.
President Winterstein, congratulations to you on your retirement from Iowa State University. We are all indebted to you for your 46 years of service to our great institution. I was hoping to sing at today's event, but unfortunately, circumstances have kept me from being available. I wish I could be there in person today to celebrate and pay tribute to your leadership and friendship over these many years. Please enjoy one of my favorite performances of You'll Never Walk Alone in honor of your distinguished career. Best wishes to you and Robert on your well-deserved retirement, and God bless you.
And
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been my honor to serve this great university. Thank you so much. Thank you for that tribute. Iowa State University is a very special place, and as Dr. Lasher said, it's the Iowa State way. We all work together to serve our students, and commencement day, commencement is the happiest day of the year. So, back to our program. At this time, I call upon Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Jason Keith, to recognize those students graduating with distinction, those students graduating from the University Honors Program, and all those with military service.
I would now like to recognize the students who are graduating with distinction. At Iowa State, grade point averages are based on a 4.00 scale. The recognition also appears on the official transcript and university diploma. Those students graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.90 or higher, and they are wearing cardinal and gold honor cords. Will those students with highest distinction please rise? Those students graduating magna cum laude with great distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.70 to 3.89, and they are wearing gold honor cords. Will those students with great distinction please rise? Those students graduating cum laude with distinction have earned a grade point average of 3.50 to 3.69, and they are wearing cardinal honor cords. Will those students with distinction please rise? I offer you sincere congratulations on behalf of the faculty of the university. Next, I would like to recognize the students who are graduating from the University Honors Program. Students receiving this distinction have maintained a grade point average of at least 3.50, have shown initiative in developing their own individualized programs of study and ingenuity in designing and completing an independent honors research project. They are wearing a medallion. Will those students graduating from the University Honors Program please rise? Finally, I would like to recognize all those in attendance today, graduates and audience members alike, who have served, who are serving, or who will be serving our country in the military following graduation. We are deeply grateful for your commitment and service. Would those individuals please rise as you are able so we may recognize you? Please be seated.
Dr. Keith, I now call upon you to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees.
We shall now proceed with the conferring of the undergraduate degrees and awarding of diplomas. Will all candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? If you want a degree, stand up. President Winterstein, these candidates have successfully completed their curricula in their respective colleges. They have been recommended by the college faculty and the Faculty Senate, and they are approved by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, for the bachelor's degree.
In recognition of the satisfactory completion of your studies in your respective colleges, and by the authority delegated to me by the Iowa Board of Regents, I confer upon you your bachelor's degree. As is tradition, I now ask all bachelor's degree recipients to move their tassels from the right side to the left side of their caps. Please join me in congratulating our newest graduates. Please be seated. Please be seated.
The candidates from each college will walk to the side stairs, up the platform, and across the stage to be recognized. We will begin with the College of Design. Dean Luis Rico Gutierrez will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, thank you for your passion, your energy, and your service to this institution. It is an honor for me to present today to you and to Provost Keith, our student marshal from the College of Design, Kylie Feilmeyer. Kylie is escorted today by Kristen Gretman, assistant teaching professor in the Department of Architecture. Kylie is graduating summa cum laude with a major in architecture. While at Iowa State University, Kylie was a recognized leader on campus, serving as freshman honors programs co-lead and as program chair on the honors student board. She also completed terms as president, co-president, and social media chair of the student chapter of Iowa Women in Architecture. Kylie received the Masonry Institute of Iowa Scholarship and was part of a student team that won the second place in the Masonry Institute of Iowa Design and Build competition. She studied abroad in Istanbul, Turkey, and completed internships with architecture firms in Carroll and West Des Moines. After graduation, Kylie will pursue licensure as an architect in Iowa. Please join me in congratulating Kylie and all of our students today.
Alexis Jensen.
Alexa Marie Miller.
Tori Ray Nemezio.
Emma Marie DeCreif.
Kira DeBrouwer.
Amira Elizabeth Ali.
Allison Frisk.
Brooke DeLon Rogers.
Keaton Elzer.
Mackenzie Cale Hunter.
Harmon Isaiah Steen.
Ryan Ewell.
Luke W. Abram.
Trevor Colin Young.
Van Yang Sui.
Gavin Gertis.
Griffin Gady.
Drew Allen Larson.
Aurora Noel Wiederman.
Joshua M. Piskuski.
Adam J. Shelley.
Joshua James Stoddard.
William C. Fisher.
Tyler Lee Nelson.
Caroline Sinattle.
Keaton Germa.
Mindy Michelle Herron.
Hope Dawn Whittington.
Connor Jeremy Bradford.
Lila Ann Crawl.
Natasha Moreno. Carly Catherine Lincoln. Next, graduates from the Ivy College of Business. Dean Raj Agnihotri will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Provost Keith, it is my honor to introduce the student marshal from the Ivy College of Business, Mackenzie Sheridan, who is escorted today by Susan Fleming, associate teaching professor in the Department of Marketing. Mackenzie is graduating magna cum laude with a major in marketing and a certificate in professional sales. While at Iowa State, Mackenzie served as president of the Ivy Student Council and vice president of the Sales Club. She also worked as a tutor in the Department of Athletics and served on an advisory board for the Senior Vice President of Student Affairs. She was inducted into Cardinal Key, Iowa State's highest honor society, and Beta Gamma Sigma, the Business Honor Society. Mackenzie excelled in case competitions, working as part of a team to develop solutions to real-world business problems. She was a member of the Ivy team that ranked second out of 81 teams around the globe at the 2024 International Collegiate Sales Competition known as the World Cup of Sales in Orlando, Florida. She was also one of the 4 Ivy students who traveled to Ireland to compete in the Aer Lingus Leaders of Tomorrow case competition in 2025. Mackenzie completed a sales internship at Holmes Murphy in Waukee and a business development and consulting internship at Kingland in Ames. Mackenzie plans to attend law school. Please join me in congratulating Mackenzie and all our graduates today. Thank you. Can I hug you?
Yes. Thank you.
Emily Kane.
Evan Todd.
Megan Morono.
Alexis Ann Stout.
Yasna Dolik.
Brock Taylor Sell.
Connolly Corcoran.
Austin L. Mayberry.
James Timothy Millins.
Cole James Brannigan.
Brian David Kerpiski.
Kaylee Nicole Melton.
Isla Bessick.
Maxwell R. Tompkins.
Isla Sivek.
William Connor Lanning.
Carlos N. Fabian Fabian.
Kellen Kenneth Arkfeld.
Jaden Dale Garcia.
Charlie J. Grabowski.
Karsten James Simon.
Braden Sorensen.
Maximilian A. Finney.
Reese Joseph Siri.
Nikki Wynn.
Gabrielle Lynn Bernadotte.
Timothy James Didier.
Mia Guerin Comito.
Ethan Robert Pulling.
Cesar Nathaniel Marfal.
Nathaniel P. Sen.
John Patrick Zegler.
Dylan Matthews Bates.
Jacob T. Petty.
Emery Hendricks Walker.
Trevor W. Glade.
Paulina Maria Kaischlach.
James Francis Walsh.
Sophia Crystal Alvero.
Ryan Templeman.
Rebecca L. Dinslogdy.
Paige Dakota McDonald.
Ellie Lauren Pashek.
Megan Rachel Schwertfeger.
Lily Johnson.
Connor Danny Bellis.
Natalie Jane Jenks.
Faith Kermeens.
Arissa D. Smith.
Brock Allen King.
Kara Greiner.
Abilene Sosa Baez.
Reese B. Clausen.
Vanessa Reyes.
Cole Carter.
Hayden G. Dahlhauser.
Nevaeh Nichelle Belgrave.
Lucas Benitez.
Jaden Allen.
Landon J. Wright.
Krista Ewoldt.
Mason Young.
Aaliyah Marie Calvin.
Jake Dunsbergen.
Ashlyn Chase.
Aiden James Richardson.
Hayden Moore.
Ariel Mabuere Eliomo.
Joseph Oscar Garza.
Lydia Lenz.
Joshua Sage Moldener.
Victoria Surawanich.
Grant Jacob DeCrife.
Chi Ray Andrea Lee.
Stephen Arthur Sperfurnus.
Tik Tik Rem.
Dylan W. Scott.
Colby Dotzler.
Jake Gruben.
Evan Honan.
Lars Kane.
Jacob E. Heitschuh.
Thomas Daniel Lauren.
Jacob E. Barton.
Michael Joseph Hollett.
Mia Tron.
Dylan Andrew Volbeer.
Spencer J. Crawford.
Arya Patel.
Emma Lynn Boutwell.
Carson Piebol.
Mason James Varian.
Jairo Aguilar Dominguez.
Ryan Patrick O'Connor.
Lloyd Quezada.
Eric Stephen Diedig.
Brett Lewis Eller.
Ali Anwar.
Drew Schindel.
Zachary Harold Frieders.
Ella Christine Fries.
Matthew McKeon.
Ariana Cagle.
Cadence Cleveland.
Gabrielle D. Barkema.
Anna Mary Lawrenson.
Livia Nicole Taylor.
Chloe Irene Cahill.
Maya Rose Peterson.
Delaney Ray Easterling.
Madison Musel.
Saja Galal Ibrahim.
James Van Reese.
Cale John Woodkey.
Bryce Anthony Anderson.
Paul M. Weiss.
Elijah Nicholas Teets.
Ali Piper.
Edson Groh.
Jumno Alexander San.
Arjun Makidida.
Emma Jean Toole.
Benjamin Timothy Tope.
Omkar Jawrajapu.
Carver John Rulland.
Ryan James Harris.
Jacob Miller.
Roby Stebbins.
Kasem Alujadan.
Zachariah Michael Amy.
Saleh A.S.F. Al-Rakaf.
Aiden Nicholas Sorensen.
Abdulaziz Jamal Khalifa Salem Al-Shamsi.
Tyler David Gillenwater.
Kyler A. Schuster.
Braden Scott.
Seth Berry.
Jayla Lynn Holker.
Faith Brianne Grunewag.
Samuel James Dowd.
Angeliki Grace Karavitis.
Nolan Lubrock.
Keegan John Overton.
Rigo Barron.
Ji Hyun No.
F.N.U. Vebhav.
Jonathan C. Wessel.
Joey Lee.
Noah Titus Banentine.
Pum Ungak Sorn Sabai.
Jonathan Joseph Jacobs.
Nico Andrew Schertz.
Johnny Wilkins.
Alexia Lee Cavale.
Gabe Joseph Clark.
Rachel Ann Boyer.
Cameron Marie Postello.
Joshua T. Van Geem.
Joaquin Gonzalez Ramirez.
Robert Isaac Arbuckle.
Jason Ryan Strand.
Alexander R. Bates.
Joy Damobel.
Ryan W. Hurley. A.J. Tweet. Matthew Daniel Phelan.
And now, graduates from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Dean Daniel Robeson will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Provost Keith, I am privileged to present Emma Bastian, the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences student marshal, who is escorted today by Austin Cook, program specialist with student wellness. Emma is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Nutritional Sciences and Pre-Health. Emma's time at Iowa State has been one of service and scientific curiosity. She has volunteered at the SHOP, the Student Food Pantry, since 2022, and was the Student Advisory President during her senior year. She used her Master Gardener training to establish additional connections with community organizations for the SHOP and to start a small hydroponic donation garden in the Sloss House. Emma plans to pursue a master's degree in public health and continue working to alleviate food insecurity and do community gardening. She gives a shout out to her family. Congratulations to everybody in the College of Ag and Life Sciences, and congratulations, Emma.
Cynthia R. Angran.
Zachary Anderson.
Kimmy Ray Lena Snyder.
Carson James Albrecht.
Heidi S. Salcedo Gonzalez.
Lindsay E. Eberling.
Maria M. Leidenberger.
Madison McCullough.
Ethan Roberts.
Sabrina Rose Jankowski.
John Michael Bain.
Joshua M. Uhant.
Gavin C. Lewis.
Gabby E. Miller.
Lucas Ronald Young.
Hannah K. Lynn Hegeman.
Haley Genevieve Palmer.
Luke Freiheit Morand.
Shelby Lynn Milkey.
Emily Rose Church.
Deshae Ann Schulte.
Meredith Grace Tigas.
Avery Lorraine Crooks.
Ren Erin Merzen.
Maximus B. Cole.
Emily Kilstrom.
Bryce Mugin.
William Patrick McGarry.
Brandon Blodorn.
Blaine Plake.
Joshua C. Terrell.
Sean Andrew Anderson.
Nathan Lynn Davidson.
Hannah Nicole Buse.
Kaylin Audrey Myers.
Ian Philip Weber.
Caleb A. Shield.
Judd Swanton.
Jacob Lee Hallett.
Samuel Patrick Martin.
Juan Carlos Villanova.
Autumn K. Erdman.
Ethan Kirk Rasmussen.
Paige L. Evans.
Colin A. Randall.
Aiden Timothy Pauls.
Morgan T. Buter.
Megan Lavon Duker.
Alan Nicholas Deppie.
Grace Mackenzie O'Neill.
Tyler R. Tessman.
Brooks Randall Wee.
Luke Hoffman.
Kea Lynn Thiel.
Chase Johnston.
Gavin Wayne McGuire.
Robert Graham Kovarik.
Anastasia E. Siebrecht.
Riley Dayton Youngstead.
Abigail Rose Minor.
Katie Rose Headington.
Jamie Ann Vandeweerd.
Jacob Richard Kowaleski.
Elise Ava Andal.
Brandon Paul Jacobson.
Emily Saul.
Catherine Ann Gehring.
Tyra Roby.
Drew Clausen.
Kylie Jill Anderson.
Allison Sue Aves.
Madeline Rose Hansen.
Olivia Jolie Tenuta.
Mia L. Brecht.
Emma May Lutwin.
Carly B. Cremines.
Renee Christine Farmer.
Emily Reedy.
Jacob Kenneth Moore.
Tucker Lee Hinners.
Alexis Vivian Wand.
Alexis N. Ponce.
Samantha Soledad Robles.
Gunnar Eric Moen.
Carter Stephen Van Heisen.
Caleb Clay.
Kendall Renee Lardy.
Sarah Marie Vonamy.
Alyssa Marie Gronsky.
Haven Cross.
Cal Henry Klukas.
Marlon Lopez Cruz.
Rains Russell Sackett.
Benjamin Lincoln Sayers.
Antonio Alberto Reyes Munoz.
Chloe Maxine Smith.
Cadence Marie Juries.
Nathan David Groh.
Corbin Ryan Dewey.
Brianna Ray Seltzer.
Caden A. Glossner.
Isabel Mullinex.
Ethan Charles Davis.
Sadie Marie Fredericks.
Haley Joe Thomas.
Casey Warren Boyer.
Tyler John Kennedy.
Riley Gons.
Ilya Alexandrovich Stepanov.
Noah Oberruder.
Brendan Paul Humbard.
Allie Nicole Francis.
Sierra Marie Edmondson.
Gurinder Carr.
Skylar J. Sweat.
Micah Lania Weaver.
Chloe Ann Church.
Grace Crozier.
Hannah K. Paskey.
Adrian Hunter.
McKenna Ann Striegel.
Saul Jose Pantoya Gutierrez.
Mackenzie Peyton Lilly.
Harper Lee Clark.
Sophia Rose Schmolt.
Shayla Avdich.
Ethan Brian Kress.
Ryan James Burbage.
Julia Sofia Barajas.
Lucio Martinez.
Aliyah Saeed.
Samuel Montano Cisneros.
Grace N. Frederickson.
Luke Thomas Grice.
Sydney L. Jansen.
Gabriel David Lang.
Rochelle Cora Tice.
William James Morlock.
Hannah Marie Wallen.
Hannah Mesher.
Ricken Krishnan.
Olivia Sybil Miller.
Corwin A. Purick.
Avery Lynn Moore.
Alvaro Raziel Aguilar.
Olivia Violet Hauser.
Abigail Marie Crosby.
Cameron Ray Schaefer.
Mark Loyola. Mac Charles Feldman. And now, graduates from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Dean Benjamin Withers will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein, Provost Keith, the first student to receive a diploma from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences is our student marshal, Marissa Baeto. Marissa is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in Statistics and in Data Science, as well as a certificate in Actuarial Science. Throughout her time at Iowa State, Marissa has led and contributed to impactful research projects, including studies on motor vehicle fatalities, the economic impact of COVID-19 vaccination efforts, and state economic shutdowns. She gained hands-on experience as a data analyst intern with ISU Extension and Outreach and as a data science intern at Tractor Zoom. A member of Phi Beta Kappa, Marissa was honored with the Charlie and Barb Hunt Scholarship in Statistics for her academic excellence. She also volunteered with StatCom, offering statistical consulting to local organizations, and participated in the Iowa State Baking Club. Marissa will apply her analytical skills and passion for data-driven problem solving in her new job with B&S Railroads in her native Texas. Marissa is escorted by Dr. Peter Orazum, University Professor and Interim Chair of the Department of Economics. Please join me in congratulating Marissa and all of our graduates today.
Luke James Parton.
Alpha Nagongo Shochi.
Cale Thomas Parton.
Aidan M. Berkwam.
Trevor Condon.
Amelia Elizabeth Blodgett.
Zachariah Prichetti.
Mubarak Saleh Mubarak Kalfu Al-Rashidi.
Bedi Sa.
Sahel Musalam Mohammed Sal Alameri.
Marissa Leonard.
Allison Fixon.
Gracie Elizabeth Mann.
Adrienne A. Stamer Fuentes.
Tashiana Lynn De Leon.
Michael Joseph Sniffen.
Kaylee Kriesel.
Dorothy Sargent.
Isandrel Moore Egan.
Jolly Jacqueline Carrera Sens.
Andrew Grassel.
Samantha Semmelroth.
Reagan Bell Loftus.
Annabelle Patrice Hoffman.
Matthew Hunter Nielsen.
Lexi Marie Smith.
Kalea A. Martin.
Mara Isabella Watkins.
Alexandra Isabel Hurtado.
Luke Eli Peterson.
Joel Thomas Bricky.
Claire Kilkenny.
Kenny Jia Hui Leong.
Eliza Barnum.
Mani Raj Redinthala.
Viviana Martinez.
Nat An Bui.
Haley Burke.
Andrew Hollings.
Taylor A. Myers.
Jackson Weaver.
Alexandra Finkel.
Matthew Weiss.
Brooke Marie LeMay.
Salcedo Goldschmidt.
John Rocco Diantico.
Ryan Rebesel.
Benjamin Dennis Joel.
Kenneth Alois Geisler.
Aiden Marshall Friend.
Emmanuel Moreno Gomez.
Austin Joel Kruzich.
Elizabeth Jo Lineweaver.
Nolan Fraser Urich.
Mattie Ellen Sasick.
Nicholas Van Horn.
Ella Grace Rickard.
Spencer Joel Krabby.
Owen T. Feist.
Tate D. Myers.
Colin Anders Sorensen.
Jacob R. Leary.
Kurt G. Condolian.
Jason Scott Britton.
Christine Erabo de Ayi.
Cooper William Dittmer.
Mia Elena Baricchio.
Oscar K. Neeson.
Trenton Randall Duncan.
Caitlin Elizabeth Sellen.
Mason Vanderpool.
Wyatt Francis Eason.
Blake Thomas Dayton.
Keegan James Morkey.
Andrew D. Drost.
Samrida Gamiri.
Elizabeth J. Daufelt.
Calvin An Fan.
Alexander Julius Duke.
Yi Hong Lim.
Delaney Douglas.
John Gano.
Selma Basic.
Michaela Ray Gossaway.
Mason David Brunner.
Olivia Sophie Jositis.
Sophia Grace Wyckoff.
Alexander Donald Schumacher.
Gracelyn Morgan Keys.
Drake Wayne Davis.
Ayana Seam.
Lily Urquila.
Wenhui Lee.
Kai Duk Pham.
Jake Snyder.
Christian Davy Costas.
Annabelle R. Wadley.
Nazra Ahmed Osman.
Haley J. Jellison.
Cal M. Carlson.
Taylor Grace Wiersema.
Chloe Brooke Curtis.
Lexa Mary Emons.
Jack Myram Kraus.
Eliza Jolie Cunningham.
Josiah Fisher.
Eric Stephen Gertis.
Evelitsi Monica Rangel.
Grace Murray.
Jordan Ashley May.
Tucker Lynn Pease.
Natalie Benitez.
William John Shipper.
Landon Zachary Wright.
J.J. Wilson.
Jared L. Job.
Jack Douglas Musburger.
Saad Minas.
Levi Lee.
Dominic Roy Chali.
Garrett Kurkowski.
Macy Page Teets.
Anna Rebecca Bonsack.
Macy Harder.
Kinaya Angel Anise James.
Kirsten Emma Walls.
Jacob George Everett Button.
Eli Engelkus.
Caitlin Faye Nanke.
Josua Alaman.
Caitlin Liv Waterama.
Tate Thomas Meyer.
Vanessa Chavez Tellez.
Joshua Calvin Beck.
Emily Partida Solorzano.
Shay Edward Stickle.
Sean Sebastian Bacos.
Emily Kathleen Bruce.
Avery Cameron Conrad.
Betsy Faith Cramps.
Sarah Marie Crowley.
Ariana Elise Warson.
Quinn Young.
Elena Marie Klinkafus.
Isabella Josephine Grabowski.
Kaylee Jane Flynn.
Nathan T. Harding.
Priyasha Deb.
Kayla Schmitz.
Alexa Nimi.
Taylor Velgerdijk.
David C. Caban.
Gabrielle R. Grimes.
Ana Irina Palacios Castillo.
Maxwell Fritz Dietrich.
Aiden Stryker.
Savannah Marie Nick.
Courtney Marie Swemline.
Bailey Knights.
Braden M. Finley.
Rourke Hughes.
London Marie Freilich.
Jillian Smith.
Tegan Stephanie Bowlers.
Abby Carolyn Molstad.
Avery Elmira Shinehouse Ganson.
Lacey Lynn Crateville.
Benjamin Lloyd Freaking.
Tierney Capri Tierney.
Dominic Gearing.
Matthew Williams.
Max Overturf.
Andrew W. Cleese.
Trey C. Sandvig.
Shuliakekte Shwari Korapati.
Grayson Love.
Kush Deepak Pamnani.
Jocelyn Iva Helgens.
Jacob Ryan Gearhart.
Christy Campen.
Jocelyn E. Luna.
Spencer John Hickson.
Tess E. Franzen.
Subham Nalendu Bhattacharya.
Gracie Rindels.
Siddhartha Gudipudi.
Cooper John Polis.
Umesh Sai Teya Pudla.
Nia Dimri.
Neha Tirunagiri.
Donna Isabel Scheid.
Shrika Raja.
Michaela Farrell.
Abhay Prasanna Rao.
Caitlin Catherine Donnelly.
Stephanie J. Alejandre.
Christopher William Goldberg.
Karenza Dubo.
Lucas Arpi.
Namrita Sial.
Braden George Fells.
Eliana Vicker.
Martin Albert Hirsch.
Peya Lana Dizdarevich.
Amanda Jane Daly.
Leila Ametovich.
Sylvie A. Van Horn.
Kylie Jean Walks.
Anthony J. Campana.
Saul Alvarez.
Samuel Christopher Cyrus. Emily N. Zeringer. Brayton T. Cole. Amina Plavujul. Next, graduates from the College of Health and Human Sciences. Dean Laura Jolly will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
President Winterstein and Provost Keith, the first student to receive a diploma from the College of Health and Human Sciences is our University Student Marshal, Autumn Tiedens, escorted today by Dr. Elizabeth Stegemoller, Professor in the Department of Kinesiology and Health. Autumn is graduating summa cum laude with a major in kinesiology and health and a minor in psychology. While at Iowa State, Autumn worked as an undergraduate research assistant, contributing to studies in the Alternative Medicine and Music for Parkinson's Disease Laboratory and the Physical Activity Epidemiology Laboratory, conducting individual health and physical performance assessments for adults over 65. She presented her research at international conferences and received multiple awards and scholarships recognizing her excellence. A mentor to other students, Autumn has served as an ambassador for the honors program, a seminar leader for honors courses, and a volunteer at events including the Iowa Girls in Science Festival and Iowa State's Undergraduate Research Symposium. She was also an active member of campus organizations and served as Vice President of Learning and Development for Kappa Delta sorority. Autumn plans to pursue a doctorate in occupational therapy. Graduates of the College of Health and Human Sciences combine strong academic rigor and hands-on experience with a passion for improving the lives of those around them. Congratulations to our Fall 2025 graduates.
Morgan Demuth.
Marin May Redliger.
Sophia Santi.
Andrew Christopher Larson.
Abigail Mami Bedell.
Ty Fretty Pham.
Addie Hope Cunningham.
Christopher J. Buckwald.
Allison B. Kupchindani.
Cody Tiffin.
Nadia Nicole Rapley.
Kathleen Ann Cronky.
Natalie J. Henry.
Grace Ann Kirschbaum.
Michaela J. Foraker.
Alex Clarice Bullard.
Megan Meyer.
Madeline Marie Rupert.
Aubrey Victoria Smith.
Zoe Lynn Sherman.
Brenna Gottfried.
Blythe Noel Guyman.
Lauren Gilmore.
Lauren E. Paul.
Ellie Einison.
Sophia Versalino.
Bryce Handberg.
Allison Nicole Hoig.
Lucas DeRozier.
Michaela Catherine Farmer.
Adam Jeffrey Harness.
Isabella Anderson.
Heidi C. John.
Kelly Christina Horwath.
Emily Claire Barden.
Emma J. Lewis.
Veronica Flug.
Ava Rose Bartolo.
Tara Mackenzie Pippett.
Megan Catherine Norris.
Laura Catherine Hensel.
Alexis Ann Smith.
Olivia R. Schmidt.
Taylor Ann Fernading.
Samantha B. Wynn.
Libby Suzanne Totsky.
Addison Jean Juleseth.
Catherine Elizabeth Kraus.
Andrea Lauren Belding.
Sydney K. Zabel.
Morgan Lockman.
Savannah Washington.
Megan Swan.
Casey Lynn Kosbob.
Madeline Helgerson.
Tabby Spring Eaton.
Samantha Ann Schildroth.
Dylan Elizabeth Tracy.
Laura Jo Freeland.
Eden C. Knudsen.
Jordan Sue Kreger.
Clara Elizabeth Moreau.
Cole S. Kramer.
Kyle R. Stark.
Sophia Erin Sartori.
Brody Lee Everett.
Abigail Ray Garton.
Zochao Nguyen.
Michelle Deanne Cox.
Wendy Contreras.
Chloe N. Johnson.
Ella Delaney Devlin.
Chase J. Gladden.
Trisha Sen.
Gabriel Christopher Brewer.
Andrew Huff.
Natapan Kajonklin.
Kale Engerbretson.
Ryan Thomas Kane.
Emma Conley.
Mia Catalano.
Jordan Elaine Betch.
Sarah Gilbreth.
Abigail Kaylee Bomfalk.
Elizabeth Jensen.
Callie Brooke Klein.
Lily Dumas.
Vanessa Dominique Rodriguez.
Mulaney Victoria Buttrick.
Lauren May Goman.
Daly Fenton.
Sophie Page.
Lauren Elizabeth Nicholson.
Grace Kenefek.
Macy Rose Nichol.
Connor Mandry Zebarth.
Amber Renee Vandekefit.
Ethan Robert Hack.
Emma L. Fonce.
Piper Ray DeRushy.
Claire Ann McCardle.
Mackenzie Lynn Galligan.
Olivia Ann Ryan.
Jordan Elizabeth Jansen.
Ethan C. Geisen.
Maggie Leanne McAllister.
Nicholas John Whitzel.
McKenna Vivian Jean Dirks.
Seth N. Wempen.
Kira Langenfeld.
Maxwell Frederick. And finally, graduates from the College of Engineering. Dean Samuel Easterling will present the college's student marshal to President Winterstein.
Showtime. President Winterstein, Provost Keith, it's my privilege to present the Student Marshal from the College of Engineering, Katie Meyer, from Germantown Hills, Illinois, escorted by Dr. Todd Kingston. Katie is graduating summa cum laude with a degree in mechanical engineering with minors in energy systems and history. She conducted undergraduate research, advancing the study of microfluidics, including an honors program capstone project. Katie also completed 3 internships at Caterpillar and a co-op at Ameren, Illinois. Katie has served as an undergraduate teaching assistant, studied abroad, and was a leader in student organizations. After graduation, Katie's accepted a position in Caterpillar's Engineering Rotational Development Program, starting at Caterpillar's Tucson Mining Center. Congratulations, Katie, and to all the outstanding graduates in the College of Engineering. Congratulations.
Adam A. Wolf.
Ernest J. Matson.
Anna Evelyn Werner.
Arthur Jordan Perrin.
Emma Florence Ostrowski.
Jenna Catherine Wools.
Hallie Christine Nissen.
Olivia L. Poppin.
Cole Novakowski.
Kate Taylor Nelson.
Anthony Varberg.
Mitchell Henry Steinkühler.
Jake Douglas Winters.
Peyton Riley Weisbeck.
Jacob Jason Eiler.
Walt Glockner.
Samuel Thomas Denis.
Michael W. Height.
Molly Stanhope.
Nathan Jeffrey Willie.
Russell Joseph Thielson II.
Jason Britton.
Nolan Huffman.
Samuel A. Sitzma.
Dalton Hindens.
Bradley J. Nordwall.
Benjamin Lloyd Otterer.
Andrew Michael Chizik.
Tristan M. Husnick.
Luke David Post.
Lucas Michael Gardner.
Mario S. Guevara.
Sidney L. Heisey.
Ava Kelly Willis.
Eli Daniel Walter.
Irina G. Pogorelko.
Elmer Diaz.
Abby Marie Schaefer.
Liam Eric Dacre.
Krista Olive Paulson.
Caden Paul Kraft.
Elvin Yin Lap Lee.
Luke D. Geitz.
Ryan Kadeby.
Keyshawn Patel.
Eric DeMeyer.
Matthew J. Keene.
Isaiah Robert Vela.
Ryan Connolly.
Tanner Jerome.
Bradley Scott Yeomans.
Otis Paul Kirst.
Axel S. Garciga.
Abigail Jonelle Bovenkamp.
Logan Joseph Baumler.
Zeke Ruslan Schneider.
Cole Robert Trinkle.
Eli Eugene Eggers.
Benjamin Michael Scudder.
Tristan Kathleen Lucas.
Kamage Benuluka Hueranuto.
Joel Edward McCleary.
McRyan Milliner.
Logan William Fonks.
Gabriel William Cook.
Eduardo Milak Teixeira.
William Paul Ernott.
Nicholas Warren Zimmerman.
Tasman Paul Grinnell.
Grant Henry Bashan.
Abigail Georgia Sledden.
Fernando Milak Teixeira.
Bryce A. Bone.
Sneh Mystery.
Caleb M. Hampton.
Karanveer Singh.
Joseph John Parker.
Ryan Jennings.
Jack Harley Farrar.
Allison Nicole Burgess.
Hallie Northway.
Joshua Dwight.
Kaylee Hainland.
Benjamin L. Goodmiller.
Samuel Lawns.
Leon Kong.
Ethan David Sizowitz.
Alexander Miller.
Jake Walter Winsky.
Joseph K. Young.
Ethan Harrigan.
Rachel Elizabeth McBride.
Charles D. Schultz.
Jackson R. Collins.
Autumn Grow.
Daniel Dawson DeBauer.
Harley Jess Peacher.
Matthew Gudenkoff.
Con Fessler Dickel.
Michael William Geltz.
Justin Matthew Sears.
Benjamin Halford Thompson.
Calvin Waite Halverson.
Kyle Harrison.
Amanya Sivashankar.
Dylan Ryan McDaniel.
Bethany Bracco.
Jefu Kashnidi.
Louise Ann Hinderleiter.
Alyssa Nicole Biskin.
Hardy Mahoney.
Lucy Maggott.
Jack Thomas Norland.
Nathan E. Kalal.
Derek Joseph Zarakta.
Henry Robert Locke.
Keegan Colberg.
Ava K. Huth.
Jacob Obagoresri Arayuga.
Joseph William Koenig.
Justin Soberano.
Kurt Albert Sonnenberg Jr.
Joseph Brennan.
Donald Wayne Sonnenberg II.
Justin Corbell.
Grace Moline.
Luca Cano.
Kara L. Lawless.
Will Corrigan.
Khalid Kablawi.
Leif Topher Kaiser.
Samuel Carver Hansen.
Patrick Joseph Crane.
Ty Lyndon Decker.
Nathan Allen Burns.
Joshua J. Rosales.
Andrew McPherson.
Max James Strader.
Benjamin Tan Wee.
Nicholas Hayden Myers.
Caleb B. Goff.
Joshua Robert McClure.
Lucas Michael Draver.
Patrick John Recco.
Drew Jackson Kearns.
Benjamin W. Jeanette.
Nicholas J. Tao.
Michaela Castillo.
Kaylin Petrock.
Alberto Mendoza.
Kiefer R. Wallace.
Rongsheng Liu.
Elias Patrick McGuffin.
Brian Staniak.
Evan W. Lidkey.
Jacob Mosier.
Mary Zood.
Lucas Aiden Phillips.
Grace Marie Jarvis.
Victor Rodriguez.
Carson John Stanley.
Noah Schuyler Thompson.
Timothy Andrew Kewen.
Daniel A. Ripley Betts.
Walter Vincent Goodsey III.
Nolan Michael Yanda.
Mason James Eck.
David Zadravev.
Felipe Augusto Nadalim.
Keith Wilwert.
John Pierre Gadd.
Brayton Joseph Scheckinger.
Evan Scheiber.
Owen Thomas Monson.
Rigo Hernandez.
Carson J. Harder.
Tyler J. Motes.
Alex Matthew Ling.
Cade Wilson Call.
Philip K. Doan.
Matthew Joy Rosario.
Wyatt Thaddeus Opedal.
Samuel Jacob Whitlock.
Samuel Oshbacker Burrell.
Alexander Nathaniel Kuba.
Sullivan Hart.
Michael Mercer.
Ryan Metzel.
Ritwig Chakrabarti.
Grant Eli Christensen.
Alexander Thomas Miller.
Charles David Campbell.
Tyler Wayne Norris.
Emilio Bobe.
Brandon R. Poe.
Zachary S. Janikowski.
Jarvis Rodriguez.
Alicia Marie Veach.
Madeline Marie Dickerson.
Jack David Nickel.
Matthew B. Woolert.
Owen Lehman.
Isaac Ismael Zavala.
Benjamin Daniel Smock.
Chancellor R. Thrasher.
Mernalini Surendra.
David Benjamin Wolter.
Danny Dwayne Turner.
Sawyer Allen Hornberger.
Mubarak A.F.M. Alcorani.
Alec John Eggers.
Dylan Bradley Hugendorn.
Joshua Alexander Rush.
Michael S. Rubenacker.
Maxwell Lucas Nelson.
Jesus Horacio Soto Gonzalez.
Alejandro Rivas Alanis.
Zachary Dale Hollenbeck.
Andrew White.
Merlik Mongbo.
Justin Thomas Cebular.
Owen Bemga George.
Oscar B. White.
Carly Elizabeth Mock.
Caden A. Davison.
Andrija Biswas.
Luke Richard.
Didi Bariga.
Joseph Lee Sin.
Andrew Gooding.
Owen Brian Watson.
Jun Hyung Park.
Devin Tyler Wignall.
Noor Afzal.
Benjamin Christopher Salk.
Ryan Lynn.
Rocco Amir Yassini.
Shivans Virendra Patel.
Karthik Prusak.
Jaray Liu.
Gigi Harabi.
Al Toure.
Brock Eric Jones.
Emily Morgan Bradley.
Jacob Salmon.
Melanie Lauren Wenz.
Jocelyn Kylie Hendricks.
Haley Chen Song.
Damian Robert Prydal. Peardall.
Cassie Jean Larson.
Alexander Travis Hale.
Mohammed Elagip.
Jake Samuel Maynard.
Muktaba A. Abusilabid.
Sushant Chiramana.
Mayar Almin.
Ethan Mesmer.
Aaron D. McKee.
Nicholas R. McCullough.
Nehal Ramesh Suranvanshi.
Yusef Harb.
Hussein Badrdene.
Tristan Connor Nono.
Mitchell Dean Owen.
Jaswanth K.
Viragbai Shukla.
Kyle Walter Jacobson.
Brody Milligan Bates.
Ethan Hancock.
Sudipta Halder.
Abigail Ann Webker.
Tyler Schaefer.
Eben Lee Ellis.
Preston Slater.
Kobe Neighbor.
Gabriel Timothy Bass.
Zachary C. Hansen.
Skylar Garthwaite.
Nathaniel S. Bell.
Lincoln I. Olson.
Lucas Mendez Vera.
Owen Riley DeVore.
Aiden Sears.
Carter Joseph Beebe.
Thomas Payton.
Adam Jennison.
Grace Way Meyer.
Joseph Metzen.
Brandon McLaren.
Valentina Boroquez Suarez.
Timothy James Gibson.
Sydney Rose Veselinovich Turner.
Jason Scott McNabb.
Jacob B. Pittman.
Andrew Jesus.
Brett Aaron Kelly.
Grace A. Rensing.
Alexander Todd Prosser.
Stephen John Peterson.
James Clausen Thurman.
Gabriel David Folkdahl.
Caden Christopher Knoll.
Aiden James Perry.
Catherine Elizabeth Anderson.
Brendan Paul Doherty.
Lauren Julaine Wingert.
Abby Ballman.
Alexandra Jasmine Curry.
Tyler Kazmarski.
Ethan Ross Picard.
Nicholas A. Bogart.
Reese Berg.
Joshua Richard Seeley.
Caitlin Ann Onion.
Spencer Michael Opitz.
Luke Allen Worthman.
Alan Patrick Belly. Jaden Michael Freeman. Bryce Norman Bertheson. Christian Cesar Navarrete. Eli William Schmidt. Ryan Liam Menlinthen.
On behalf of the entire university community, I extend my sincerest congratulations to all of our graduates. We wish you the very best and look forward to hearing from you about all of your accomplishments. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Chad Harris, Chair of the Iowa State University Alumni Association Board of Directors. He will welcome you as the newest alumni of Iowa State University.
Thank you, President Winterstein. Greetings, Iowa State University's newest alumni, members of the class of 2025. I'm Chad Harris, a 2001 graduate of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. I have the great honor of serving our great university as the current and 104th chair of the ISU Alumni Association Board of Directors. On behalf of Cyclones everywhere, I am so excited to welcome you to the expansive alumni community. You now carry the official title of Iowa State University alumnus and are a Cyclone for life. You are now and forever one of us, and we hope you will remain loyal and forever true to ISU. Today you are moving from your campus family of fellow students, faculty, and staff to a global family of more than 296,000 alumni. Our alumni colleagues make their communities greater every day in every county of Iowa and the other 49 states of the U.S. and in more than 170 countries around the globe. Think back to your first days on campus and the welcome you received from your campus community through orientation, Destination Iowa State, or Welcome Week activities. All experiences and activities designed to connect you with the Cyclone community here on campus. Now, the Iowa State University Alumni Association and our alumni family across the globe are ready to help keep you well connected to each other and to the global ISU community as you join the alumni ranks, wherever your next chapter may lead you. Iowa State University's goal is to ensure you feel connected for a lifetime as we continue to celebrate the impact of Iowa State and the accomplishments of Iowa Staters in communities around the world. Remaining involved with Iowa State during my own alumni journey over the last 20 years has been a very rewarding experience, from volunteering with the local alumni clubs in Madison, Wisconsin, and Kansas City, to serving on the Alumni Advisory Board to the Department of Political Science, to serving as a guest lecturer to classes. Each opportunity has only increased the pride I have in our institution, our alma mater. I continue to marvel at the achievements of Cyclones everywhere and the remarkable research and reach that Iowa State students, alumni, faculty, and staff have on impacting communities in positive ways, thus enriching and enhancing the value, the brand, and the reputation of being a degree holder from Iowa State University. Today, we collectively assembled here celebrate you, and we can't wait to watch what you achieve next. Now, as you take your next step in life's journey, please remember the three following things. 1, no matter what you do or where you go, you will always be a member of this prestigious higher education family. This university, now your alma mater, will always be interested in what you do, how you continue to contribute to society, and where your journey leads. 2, make Iowa State visible in your daily life. Wear your school colors with pride, sport a license plate, or display your diploma. By doing these simple acts, you're sure to connect with other Iowa Staters on your journey. And 3, as President Winterstein said, keep in touch. Come back to visit campus, join a local alumni club, and as you move through life, share your new address with us so we can keep you connected with Cyclones in your new community. In closing, I extend to you good wishes for your success, health, and happiness. And on behalf of the entire alumni body of Iowa State University, we look forward to becoming partners with you in helping you advance your careers, stay connected to your colleges, support your alma mater, and to network with Cyclones everywhere. Congratulations, class of 2025. You are now Cyclones for life. Welcome to the alumni family of Iowa State University.
Now, I'd like to offer my personal congratulations to all of today's graduates. We're extremely proud of all that you have accomplished. We also want to recognize the hard work of all those individuals who have supported our graduates, the faculty, staff, family members, and many friends. Would everyone please rise to celebrate our graduates? And if you haven't released your streamers, please do so now. Wonderful. So please remain standing as we close the commencement ceremony with the singing of the Bells of Iowa State by student vocalist, Mr. Austin Reware. Austin.
Please join me in singing the Bells of Iowa State. The words can be found in the back of your program.